You know what? Speaking of hot fire, I was going to go to some radio stations in Washington, D.C. to spit some hot fire. Because usually when I go to different cities, I will hit up the local radio stations just to shout out the city. There was a couple of radio stations kind of fronting. I had my assistant contact a couple of stations in D.C. And usually when there's a station that's run by females, when there's like a female program director or there's a female manager, and I noticed this down south and on the east or in the Midwest. Out here it's cool. I'm cool with a lot of the female program directors, which there are only a handful. But I noticed this, man, a lot of these black, let me say that. I'm probably cool with the ones out here because a lot of the female program directors are not black. I just noticed that. That's why I just realized that. I'm cool with some female program directors in LA. I do a lot of LA radio stations, but these women are Latina or they're some other nationality. But whenever I deal with a black female program director, they always kind of act like the gatekeepers, and they kind of have this fronting attitude like, nah, we're not going to let you do an interview here, as if they're doing something slick. Like whenever I go around the country and there's a male program director or there are men who are running the radio stations, I have no problem getting in there doing my thing. I get requests for radio interviews all the time by male DJs, male program directors. But these female PDs at these stations, they think that they're doing something slick by acting like the gatekeepers, like, oh, we're not going to give you access to the airways. And they kind of did that in D.C. Now, let me explain to you, wenches, how I get down. My seminar is already basically sold out, so I don't need you. Do you understand this? All you African American females who work in these little places and you think that you're the gatekeeper for some of these white folks and you have a problem with what I say, I don't need you. My shit is already hot. I spit hot fire. My shit is hot. I will come and make your shit hot. You're denying the public of my hotness, goddammit. Because when a motherfucker spits some hot fire like I spit hot fire, people are always going to look for it. That's why my seminars are sold out. That's why my shit is hot. That's why the Mac Lessons radio show has damn near 1 million views. Look at the stats on the show that you can verify yourself. We got damn near 1 million views on this show. So don't think that you're doing anything slick. A lot of these sisters who work in media try to do little slick shit behind the scenes that a lot of cats don't know about. And a lot of them, I think they're mad at me for calling a lot of their bullshit out on my show, and there's a lot of YouTube videos of me calling them out on their bullshit. I'm gonna have to start calling a lot more of you motherfuckers out pretty soon. There's a video on YouTube now that a lot of people on Facebook have been discussing. An interview I did on KTLA Channel 5 News out here in Los Angeles. I did this a few months ago and I finally got a chance to upload the video. Now, I'm going to play a small clip of the video, but you need to see it. It's on YouTube. You can go to my YouTube page, which is The Elite Way. That's my YouTube channel. Go to YouTube and go to The Elite Way, and that is my YouTube channel. But I'm doing an interview, studio full of white folks. It's one sister, African-American Latina lady in there. Very cool lady. The thick, light-skinned lady. Real cool. She's Latina, so I don't know what she is, but she was real cool. The white people were cool. And we're doing the interview. Everything is fun. Everything is lighthearted. And they put the camera on a couple of the field reporters, and one of them was a black female. And she's going to try to throw me under the bus. She's going to start saying some little slick shit. And I played past it. I didn't even buy into it. I just kept on pushing with the interview, and I kept everything lighthearted and upbeat. Let me play a small clip of this, and you have to see it. And peep what she's saying. This is what brothers have to deal with. This is me, and you can see this on YouTube. Here it is.
A lot of guys ask me that. A lot of guys meet women. A lot of guys will meet women, and they say, well, Tariq, I need to get a gift because I just met this woman, but my money isn't right. Hey, they say the thought is the thought that counts, right?
Yeah.
Let her think about a card. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? A card is very simple. It's to the point. It's thoughtful, and just leave it at that. Especially if you just met her.
Let her think about a card.
The next tip.
Yeah, don't come.
Yes.
Now, for the let me set it up a little bit. I'm giving tips on buying gifts for the holidays. So again, everything is real lighthearted in this interview segment.
That's funny.
Now, Gail, don't appear needy. We haven't.
Gail has never appeared needy in her life.
Now this is the black female field reporter.
Well, I'm going to write the book titled Ladies Take Notes. This is why you need to focus on your education and duck all of this mess.
No, you're hating.
No, she's just stepping out of the
Get your
game.
doctorate, and you know what? You don't have to worry about all of this hoo-ha.
Yeah.
Disgraceful.
So I'm doing this interview. Let me put my Mackin music back on. So I'm doing this interview, and the only sister, if you can call it that, is going to try to throw me under the bus. Oh, this is why black women get your education so you don't have to deal with this mess. And what I was saying on the show was basically stay fly, go to upscale places to meet women, don't spend a lot of money on women you just met. I wasn't saying anything out of the norm. I wasn't saying anything that was out of pocket. I want you guys to listen to the whole interview. I wasn't saying anything that was out of pocket or inappropriate. And then she starts talking about get your degree, get your education. A degree ain't gonna keep you warm at night, ladies. And there's nothing wrong with getting your degree, but why would she go there? See, that's the thing. A lot of these sisters in these positions of so-called power or in these prominent positions, when you get around white folks, a lot of y'all try to show out when y'all get around brothers. A lot of you try to talk real slick, and I wasn't about to get into no argument or, pissing contest with this woman in front of these white folks. That's what I'm not going to do. That's what they would love to see, some shit like that. I'm playing that shit real mackish. But you need to see the whole clip. You got to see the look on this woman's face. It was just utter contempt in this black woman's face for me. And it had nothing to do with what I was saying. Well, you know what? It does have something to do with what I was saying, because when a brother is trying to spit some fly shit, the first people that's going to hate are going to be a lot of these sisters. When a brother is trying to spit some real fly shit, a lot of these sisters will hate. When a nigga's doing some old thuggish, broke, raggedy nigga shit, oh, they're cool with that, because a lot of women can control that. You're comfortable with that. You can manipulate a dude like that. But when a dude is really on top of his game, these women be really low-key hating, fellas. This is why I do what I do. I cannot be stopped, people. I'm going to still keep on campaigning with this game and bringing the game to these players and waking them the fuck up. Because these women see a dude who's crisp, you can't control that. That means that she's going to have to be crisp. That means that she is going to have to be on top of her game. Just like when I'm dealing with these female program directors at these radio stations around the country, they'll sit up and play all the dumb, goofy fucking records, but when somebody's trying to spit some real game on the air, then they want to talk slick. That's why I don't need your asses. I got this. I'm doing this. I know how to keep this thing on some street shit, and the streets will always keep shit hot. Do you feel me? This is why my shits are hot. This is why my show is hot. This is why my books are hot. This is why my seminars are hot. And y'all can't do shit about it. And I want to put other cats up on game like that so they won't have to depend on these gatekeeping ass broads trying to keep them dumbed down. I'm gonna start really exposing some shit, some historical shit. I'm about to really get in some of these sisters' asses. For real, for real. I'm really, really about to get in some of these sisters' asses on a heavy level. Man, I'm about to start calling these motherfuckers out, y'all. Because I'm trying to be subtle. I'm trying to be constructive. A lot of these shows that I've been doing, talking about the ABC specials and all that, those are constructive shows. I'm trying to give sisters some game to let them know how the media is manipulating them. But I'm really about to go in on some of these broads. I'm really about to go in real fucking heavy. But I digress, people. Anyway, let me talk about some other bullshit that's going on. Before I get into that, let me shout out Monica. Monica's song, that song that Monica have, Everything to Me, that's a hot goddamn song, man. I love that song. Hot ass song. For those who don't know what I'm talking about, let me play a little clip of that. That's a hot song, and Monica's looking good in the video. She's real fly with it. Hold on. This is the hot shit right here. And it's a real simple song. No chorus, no...
Boy, if you ever left my side,
she looks good in the video. Singing her ass off. It's one of the first soul records we've had out in a long time. I love it. I like them little skinny broads. I'm going to do a show about skinny broads pretty soon. But this is a hot fucking song, man. It's like one of the few soul records that's been out in a long time. That's what we need. No auto-tune. Just her singing. Now, you know with songs like this, you know the Moist niggas had to get a hold of it. Now, they already got some Moist remixes of it.
Girl, if you ever left my side, it'd be like taking
the Moist niggas had to do it.
From the sky.
All right, but anyway, I digress. So anyway, I just had to play that real quick. But anyway, now let me get into some game, please. Let me get into some game before I go on another rant. I just had to get some shit off my chest. Certain things just chaps my ass. And some of these sisters are starting to chap my ass right now. Speaking of people who chap my ass, there's this girl on the scene named Kat Stacks. A lot of people, if you've been on the internet for the last couple of days, there's this woman named Kat Stacks. She's I think a stripper / prostitute down in Miami. And I'm not saying that to be facetious. I mean, she admits to selling pussy. Part-time, because she sells pussy one day, then she's giving it up the next day. So she's what we like to call a falstitute. That's a false prostitute. She's a falstitute. But this chick named Kat Stacks, she is going on the internet, quote unquote, exposing rappers. She's bragging about rappers she has slept with. She said she slept with Nelly, and she slept with Lil Wayne, and she said Lil Wayne gave her $1,200, and she slept with Lil Wayne's crew, Young Money crew. Let me play a small clip of this woman, and I'm going to play a short clip because it's very difficult to hear this woman talk. She seems a little slow, but this is her talking.
For those who don't know who I am Kat Stacks. I'm the girl that has the whole internet going nuts. I'm the one who's exposing Young Money. Yes, I have screwed the whole Young Money clique.
Okay, she said she has screwed the whole Young Money clique.
And you know why they call them Young Money? Because they ain't got no grown ass money. They're all motherfucking roommates. So that song they made, I can make it better rock. No, I can make it bun bag rock. That's a real motherfucking song, okay? They're all motherfucking roommates in a dirty ass motherfucking carpet living ass.
Okay, that's I can't play anymore. It's very difficult to hear this woman talk. And I'm just giving you an idea for who she is. You can see it on the internet. It's all over the internet. A woman named Kat Stacks. And when I first heard her, I'm like, what kind of accent is that? I'm thinking that it's a Portuguese accent. No, it's just she just retarded sounding. And I'm listening to this woman, and I'm like, is she retarded? Because the more she talks, it's like, okay, is she legally retarded? Because I almost feel bad for her, but the more she talks, she has a scandalous disposition. And most retarded people aren't scandalous because they just don't know any better. But she has a scandalous disposition. And I'm not going to play too much of the clip, no more of the clip, because a lot of people can't really make out what she's saying. She's just kind of slow and remedial, mixed with drugs, alcohol. I don't know what it is. And I try my best not to be too judgmental. The thing that I really don't like about this female is that she was exposing rappers, and she was exposing other hoes. She was saying, well, this girl is a hoe. She has a pimp, and her pimp is this dude, and she has a blog putting up the MySpace pages of pimps, which I really don't like. That's some real sucker shit. because that type of shit will get motherfuckers indicted. You know what I'm saying? Putting a street business out like that. So that's the problem that I have with this broad, among other things. So this is like the new hustle, this dry snitching thing. Because of Corinne Steppin's Superhead, a lot of women think that, okay, if she can get shine by snitching on cats, that's the way to go. And the thing is, I looked at Kat Stack's blog, and she had a very interesting upbringing. You know, she the abused kid, just a whole bunch of shit. And instead of using that to snitch, she could have used her background to do something positive. See, a lot of folks, man, you don't have to get shine by trying to throw other people under the bus. That's some sucker shit. You can use your experiences to really uplift people. Because when you try to throw people under the bus and use that gimmick, that's a one-shot gimmick. Just like with Superhead. She tried to come out with another book, The Vixen Manual, trying to teach women how to have sex, and that book flopped. Once you start dry snitching, that has to be your hustle from that point on, and you can only dry snitch for so long. But with the Kat Stacks chick, and she's not a bad looking girl, well, until she starts talking. When she starts talking, that makes her look kind of whack. But she's not a bad looking chick, little light skinned chick, and that's another thing for guys out there. Because really, my criticism is for the dudes. With this Kat Stack chick, the light-skinned hood rat, I've always said, and I've said this on the show a couple of years ago, you need to go back to the archives. You always watch out for a light-skinned hood rat. A light-skinned or mixed hood rat is the worst type of hood rat. Do y'all remember me saying that? Let me say it again. A light-skinned hood rat and a mixed hood rat, you have to keep an eye on them. They are the absolute worst. A white hood rat, you just avoid altogether. You know I have a lot of contempt for a white girl who's a hood rat. I won't even get them around me. I won't even get around their vicinity. Literally, if I see a white girl talking all that dumb hood rat shit, she has to go. Because those will be the first ones up in court talking like Marsha Brady, telling everybody's business. But those dusty, dirtbag, light-skinned hood rats are the worst, because the thing is, when you have a light-skinned girl that's in the hood or a mixed girl that's in the hood, it's really because of some raggedy shit. 9 times out of 10, her mother was a hoe and her daddy was a trick. And that's why she's in the hood. Do you feel me? Now, if there's a mixed chick in the suburbs, usually the dad was black and the mom was white. But if you see a light-skinned mixed chick who's obviously mixed in the hood, 9 times out of 10, the mama was turning tricks and the daddy's some white trick and the mama's black. And in order for the light-skinned hood rat to fit in, because they're what we call tragic mulattoes. Look up that term. That's an old term in the black community, the tragic mulatto. That's the mixed person that's not accepted by whites, but not totally accepted by blacks. So in order for them to fit in within the black community, they have to be an extreme version of ghetto. Because the light-skinned girls who live in the hood, they get beat up all the time, so they have to be more ghetto than everybody else in order to fit in. They have to smoke a little more weed than everybody else in order to fit in. They got to be a little more slutty in order to fit in. You feel what I'm saying? Whenever you see a dynamic where there's a black mom and a white dad and they're in the hood, it's always on some ghetto shit. Now, if it's the other way around, like for instance, Holly Berry, her mother was white, dad was black. You know, they grew up in the suburbs. Holly turned out all right. And Faith Evans, I think her mother's black and the dad is Italian. And I think Faith Evans is on the pipe. Keisha Cole is another one. Keisha Cole, her mom, Frankie, you see on the Frankie and Neffy show on BET, her mother is a way out there crackhead. And all Keisha knows is that her dad was some white Italian man that her mama turned a trick with. So the hood is full of those Keisha Cole. See, Keisha just had the gift of singing, which got her out the hood, basically. But a lot of people just don't have that talent. So you have the hood loaded with these light-skinned hood rats that have to be over the top with their hood radishness in order to fit in. And that's the deal with this chick. This chick is an ultra slut. This chick is letting rappers run trains on her, and she's bragging about it. She's like, I slept with the whole Young Money clique. I fuck this nigga, I fuck Nelly, I fuck Lil Bow Wow, I fuck this. Just bragging about all these people that she done fucked. She said she got a little money out of Lil Wayne, but that's pretty much it. And the thing is, we got girls now just bragging about being basic bitches. That's some basic bitch shit. You bragging about being a basic bitch. A lot of these women now, I think a lot of women feel like if they give up pussy and fuck a lot of people, that makes them some kind of player. You're not doing nothing slick. Any female can get fucked. A female can stand outside and within 5 minutes somebody's gonna try to fuck you. So that's not no accomplishment that you should be bragging about. See, we got these women out here with the game fucked all the way up. The girls out here now are dumb as bricks. And this young lady, Kat Stacks, and I know some dumb broads, but this has to be one of the dumbest broads I've ever seen in my life. And again, I'm not trying to make the whole thing about her because I really want to get on the dudes. My beef is with these dudes out here. See, you always have these dudes who think they know everything. When it comes to some game and when it comes to somebody trying to lace them with game, they always talk about what they don't need. Oh, I don't need nobody to teach me shit. I know the game. I don't need no lessons in game. I always hear that from these square dudes, but then you'll have these same bum ass niggas laying up with a Kat Stacks type of broad, getting your business put out in the streets. And my thing is, really, if you don't want to learn the game, if you like getting exposed by dusty, half a fucking retard hood rats, well, so be it. Because a lot of my listeners, and that's who I'm really concerned about, my listeners. That's all I give a fuck about. My players out there, the cats who are diehard listeners of the show. Those are the only folks I really give a fuck about. Because they respect the game and I respect them. And I get a lot of my players, they say, well, Tariq, man, dude, I be trying to hook my buddies up to your show, man. They be fucking up in the game, but these dudes just don't want to listen. You know what? Fuck them. Fuck them. I don't give a shit about these lame niggas who want to reject the game, who swear they know everything. Because the thing is, I enjoy this game. I live the game. The stuff that I tell you people, I live it every day. I travel the world relishing the game. This is what I do. So if they're not going to accept it, that's fine. I will use this shit for myself. I'm doing good with the game. And the cats who listen are doing good with the game. So these cats, you're not doing nothing slick if you think, well, the game, this ain't for me. You shouldn't need no lessons from nobody. When you have that kind of mentality, good luck to you, player. See you at the strip club. Go ahead, do your thing. These are the niggas that's all up in the goddamn strip clubs. I seen some shit, because I haven't been in a strip club in a long time. I saw some footage on YouTube of some strip club down in Atlanta. And I didn't know that strip clubs were that huge inside. This strip club looked like a fucking Creflo Dollar church. I ain't never seen a strip club with pews. It had rows of niggas and collection plates and shit. I'm like, strip clubs look like that? These niggas sit up in the strip club like they in church. Talking about what the fuck you don't need. You dumb niggas laying up with bitches like Kat Stacks and then wonder why they telling on you. Stupid ass. The thing is, man, with broads like this, these are grown crack babies. See, you have a different type of female right now. These are grown fucking crack babies. These broads, and I've talked about this a million times, they were born between 85 and 92, and these motherfuckers, the neural systems in their brains are on some other shit. All right, that crack then just fucked up the wiring in their brains. So it's a different kind of stupidity going on right now. These bitches ain't shit. And you have to treat them a certain way. And some of y'all fucking dudes, some of y'all niggas are crack babies because y'all don't know how to identify these dirtbag broads. You dig what I'm saying? See, back in the day, let's talk about the game. Let's talk about some pimping and hoeing. Let's get into some game. Let's get into some of the ism. Back in the day, when it came to the game, you had pimps and you had squares. All right? You had pimps and squares. When a hoe was out here trying to deal with somebody, they had to abide by the rules of the square world, which there's nothing wrong with that. And you had to abide by the rules of the pimping world. A hoe just couldn't be out here all willy-nilly. If they were renegading, they would just kind of fall off. They wouldn't have a support system. When a female chose to be a hoe, you had to abide by certain rules. If you weren't going to abide by the rules of the pimping, you had to go ahead and square up somewhere. Because the thing is, the PIs had a certain set of rules. If a female was out of pocket, if a female was dry snitching on pimps or getting a pimp locked up or stealing from somebody, the PIs would run their asses out of town. The players would gather together and run that motherfucker out of town, and hopefully the word wouldn't get out in the next town about her, because there was a nationwide network of players and they communicated with each other, so a female could not be out of pocket. The word got around very quickly if there was an out-of-pocket female going around, so that kept the game regulated to a certain level. And also with the tricks and the squares, because tricks and squares are pretty much one and the same, and there's nothing wrong with that. With the squares back in the day, they would have the wife and kids. The squares would want to get them a little pussy on the side. They go off to the other side of town on the weekend, Friday night, Saturday night. They go get a hotel somewhere. They go out of town, trick off for a couple of hours, go back home to their wife and kids. They kept it real businesslike. So if a hoe tried to become a renegade and deal with a square or a trick on some other level, the square and the trick would be like, hey, you know, I just want this pussy. No, I don't want all that. If a bitch was like, hey, I'm in jail, can you help me? The square wasn't going to help her. The square's not going to get involved with no hoe like that. They kept it business. They're like, oh, no, I got a wife and kids. No, you're going to have to deal with your own hoe business elsewhere. I can't get involved with you like that now. See, everybody had common sense. The tricks, the squares, and the players had common sense. They knew how to deal with these women accordingly. Nowadays, you have the rise of the simp culture. The simps created a support system for renegade out-of-pocket hoes. Like I said, when a female was out of pocket, when she was just dealing with tricks and players, she didn't have a financial support base. See, when an out-of-pocket bitch was out of pocket, she gets up with another out-of-pocket broad. They hang out with one another, but they have emotional support, but they don't have any financial support. So sooner or later, they're going to have to get back in the game, or they're going to have to square up. Are you following me on this, people? But they didn't have a financial support system. See, the simps right now have created a financial support system, along with the internet too. The internet has created a financial support system, but the simps more so have created a financial support system for raggedy, renegade, out-of-pocket hoes. The simps, who are basically undercover tricks or overt tricks. Instead of treating a raggedy hoe like they're supposed to, the simps got the hoe all up in their house. The simps got the hoes all on vacation with them. The simps got the hoes all posted up on Facebook with them. The simps got the hoes all up in the studio with them. The simps have cupcake with the hoes. And then you wonder why the hoe just burned you. Why the hoe just put your business out there like that. You don't trust hoes, fool, especially these hoes that's out here now. Square hoes and professional hoes. See, the professional hoes are not like the hoes from back in the day. See, back in the day, the players, there's a saying that Pimps are born, hoes are made. You make a hoe. But the thing is, the hoes now, to make something, you need good material. See, you're dealing with raggedy raw material right now. So even if you're trying to lace these girls with the best of game, it's a raggedy foundation. Some of these motherfuckers are rotten to the core to begin with. So you still gonna get a raggedy hoe no matter what. It's like silly putty. You can pull it, stretch it, twist it. No matter what direction you twist it in, it's still gonna be silly putty. So a lot of these hoes now are just raggedy material. So a lot of the players, the guys in the game, they are starting to keep certain women who are getting in the game at arm's length. The old school players. Now you have a whole bunch of what we call tennis shoe pimps, niggas who don't really know what they're doing, slash pimps, pimps slash drug dealers, wannabe pimps, niggas who are popping pimping but not really pimping, dealing with these hoes, messing their game up even more. So the shit is real raggedy right now. So you have a bunch of raggedy, broke, dry snitching hoes like cat stacks, and that's partly because of the simp mentality that's prevalent today. But the bottom line is you really can't save hoes. I know that sounds very cliche, but you cannot save a hoe. You understand that? You have to be in the game, or you're just going to have to keep it on a business level. But as far as saving a hoe, you can't save a hoe. A square or professional. A square hoe is just a hoe who likes to go out and have sex with a whole bunch of people. A professional hoe is a hoe who has sex and get money. But you can't really save neither one, because a lot of the hoes today are just not trustworthy. You remember back in the day when you're in the 80s, 70s, 80s, you get you a nice little slut, you kick it with her, she was cool because she kept her mouth shut. She didn't want everybody to know she was a slut. She was an undercover slut. Now, these women make it cool to be a slut. You have slut idols. You have the Nicki Minaj's. This girl walking around with a big hydrogel ass and her big camel toe sticking out. You have a lot of slut idols right now. The Little Kims and the Kim Kardashians and the Paris Hiltons and the Lady Gagas. So it's cool to be a slut now. To fuck for no money, to be a stank for no money, to get motherfuckers to run trains on you and make you think you're doing something, you dumb bitches. And if you are a square and you're dealing with a square hoe, you can't trust the square hoe, because being a square hoe by definition makes you untrustworthy, because a square dude, you're not going to be with a woman that you know is a hoe. A hoe has to do it on the low. And in the game, a lot of these women now, 99% of them, they might be bona fide with a little piece of the game, but they still have that lying, sneaking, conniving mentality. So you have to really deal with them on some gangster gorilla pimping level damn near. So the game is real trippy right now, but all you rappers who always pop this shit about how much game you have, why are these rappers, you guys are getting caught up more than anybody? Why would y'all bring some shit like that up in your house? Hearing a woman like Cat Stacks talk, don't you know this motherfucker is retarded? Why would you have her up in your spot? Players, y'all got to start taking these bitches to motels. Y'all got to start giving these motherfuckers prepaid cell phone numbers, because this Cat Stacks chick then gave out a bunch of rappers' phone numbers. Y'all got to really step your game up and stop pretending you know so goddamn much. Because these women are exposing how lame some of you dudes are with your game. This is why I'm doing what I do. I'm trying to wake motherfuckers up. What do I need to do? And I'm not going to go out of my way to do it. I'm like, if you want to be a simp and have these bitches giving out your number on the internet and taking naked pictures of you and all that, that's another thing. Fellas, stop letting women take pictures of you on their camera phones. Women use shit like that to try to expose you. I don't let women take pictures of me and all that old bullshit and send naked pics. Fuck all that. I turn on the internet, there's some athlete or some rapper standing up naked. You moist son of a bitch. They're exposing a lot of faggotry that's going on with these dudes too, man. But I digress on that. Anyway, y'all, I'm going on a rant. That's why the Mac Lessons radio show has damn near 1 million views. Look at the stats on the show that you can verify yourself. We got damn near 1 million views on this show. So don't think that you're doing anything slick. A lot of these sisters who work in media try to do little slick shit behind the scenes that a lot of cats don't know about. And a lot of them, I think they're mad at me for calling a lot of their bullshit out on my show. And there's a lot of YouTube videos of me calling them out on their bullshit. I'm gonna have to start calling a lot more of you motherfuckers out pretty soon. There's a video on YouTube now that a lot of people on Facebook have been discussing. An interview I did on KTLA Channel 5 News out here in Los Angeles. I did this a few months ago and I finally got a chance to upload the video. Now, I'm going to play a small clip of the video, but you need to see it. It's on YouTube. You can go to my YouTube page, which is The Elite Way. That's my YouTube channel. Go to YouTube and go to The Elite Way, and that is my YouTube channel. But I'm doing an interview, studio full of white folks. It's one sister, African-American Latina lady in there. Very cool lady. You know what? Speaking of hot fire, I was going to go to some radio stations in Washington, D.C. to spit some hot fire. Because usually when I go to different cities, I will hit up the local radio stations just to shout out the city. There was a couple of radio stations kind of fronting. I had my assistant contact a couple of stations in D.C. And usually when there's a station that's run by females, when there's like a female program director or there's a female manager, and I noticed this down south and on the east or in the Midwest. Out here it's cool. I'm cool with a lot of the female program directors, which there are only a handful. But I noticed this, man, a lot of these black, let me say that. I'm probably cool with the ones out here because a lot of the female program directors are not black. I just noticed that. That's why I just realized that. I'm cool with some female program directors in LA. I do a lot of LA radio stations, but these women are Latino or they're some other nationality. But whenever I deal with a black female program director, they always kind of act like the gatekeepers, and they kind of have this fronting attitude like, nah, we're not going to let you do an interview here, as if they're doing something slick. Like whenever I go around the country and there's a male program director or there are men who are running the radio stations, I have no problem getting in there doing my thing. I get requests for radio interviews all the time by male DJs, male program directors. But these female PDs at these stations, they think that they're doing something slick by acting like the gatekeepers, like, oh, we're not going to give you access to the airways. And they kind of did that in DC. Now, let me explain to you, wenches, how I get down. My seminar is already basically sold out, so I don't need you. Do you understand this? All you African-American females who work in these little places and you think that you're the gatekeeper for some of these white folks and you have a problem with what I say, I don't need you. My shit is already hot. I spit hot fire. My shit is hot. I will come and make your shit hot. You're denying the public of my hotness, goddammit. Because when a motherfucker spits some hot fire like I spit hot fire, people are always going to look for it. That's why my seminars are sold out. That's why my shit is hot-hearted in this interview segment.
That's funny.
Now, Gail, don't appear needy. We haven't.
Gail has never appeared needy in her life.
Now this is the black female field reporter.
Well, I'm going to write the book titled Ladies Take Notes. This is why you need to focus on your education and duck all of this mess.
No, you're hating.
No,
Get your PhD,
she's just stepping out of the
get your
game.
doctorate, and you know what? You don't have to worry about all of this hoo-ha. Disgraceful.
So I'm doing this interview. Let me put my Mac and music back on. So I'm doing this interview, and the only sister, if you can call it that, is going to try to throw me under the bus. Oh, this is why black women get your education so you don't have to deal with this mess. And what I was saying on the show was basically stay fly, go to upscale places to meet women, don't spend a lot of money on women you just met. I wasn't saying anything out of the norm. I wasn't saying anything that was out of pocket. I want you guys to listen to the whole interview. I wasn't saying anything that was out of pocket or inappropriate. lady. The thick, light-skinned lady, real cool. She's Latina, so I don't know what she is, but she was real cool. The white people were cool. And we're doing the interview. Everything is fun. Everything is lighthearted. And they put the camera on a couple of the field reporters, and one of them was a black female. And she's going to try to throw me under the bus. She's going to start saying some little slick shit. And I played past it. I didn't even buy into it. I just kept on pushing with the interview, and I kept everything lighthearted and upbeat. Let me play a small clip of this, and you have to see it. And peep what she's saying. This is what brothers have to deal with. This is me, and you can see this on YouTube. Here it is.
A lot of guys ask me that. A lot of guys meet women. A lot of guys will meet women, and they say, well, Tariq, I need to get a gift because I just met this woman, but my money isn't right. Hey, they say the thought is the thought that counts, right?
Yeah.
Let her think about a card. You know what I'm saying? A card is very simple. It's to the point. It's thoughtful. And just leave it at that, especially if you just met her.
Let her think about a card.
The next tip.
Don't come.
Yes.
Now, for let me set it up a little bit. I'm giving tips on buying gifts for the holidays. So, again, everything is real light.